News 14 Carolina Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the Wednesday, September 9th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Starting off with a look at the radar I snapped early this morning at about 20 minutes after 5 o'clock. And there's been some big storms this morning in portions of the foothills and into the southwestern Piedmont. And at that point in time when I snapped this radar image, you had some pretty good storms in parts of Gaston, Cleveland, and Rutherford counties. In fact, Rutherford and Cleveland counties had been under severe thunderstorm warnings. And at the time I was cutting this video, you had some very intense activity, lots of heavy rain and cloud-to-ground lightning from Shelby on up toward Cherryville. That's continued to drop down into Gaston County. A broader perspective, and really it was a fairly active weather night. Some severe weather in parts of the mountains into the southwestern Piedmont. But for the triad, the triangle, it was a quiet night. And as today's forecast unfolds, I think you look at the GFS, and in that area you see painted green, the western Carolinas. That's where you have the best chance of seeing some more isolated showers and thunderstorms as today unfolds and we transition into this evening. And a few of the storms could produce some heavy rain, a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, some small hail and gusty winds as well. Highs today, lower 80s in most spots, could be a few mid-80s mixing in as well. Tomorrow, that big area of low pressure that's been off the coast, it begins to pull down some cooler, drier air. Notice that high pressure centered near Newfoundland and Maine. That's going to help to wedge down in here some cooler, drier air. So it looks like probably upper side of the 70s for highs tomorrow, much lower levels of humidity. Probably a mainly dry day tomorrow. And then a little better chance coming up Friday afternoon here for a few showers and thunderstorms. Now, as we get into the upcoming weekend, it still looks primarily dry. This is Saturday, and it will get warmer again, probably mid-80s for highs Saturday and probably Sunday as well. And then still a fairly convoluted forecast for early next week. There'll be a big upper-level low sitting back in the Plain States by Sunday and Monday. And exactly how that behaves will determine our rain chance next week. So I really don't have much change today from my forecast package I put out yesterday. This is the GFS for Monday afternoon. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in the chance for some showers Monday with a lot of cloud cover. And Tuesday, if you believe the GFS, would be the wettest day with a good chance of some rain Tuesday and maybe some rain trying to linger into Wednesday as well. And I wanted to show you this out at the very end of the run of the GFS. Of course, this is fantasy land, but you get out there into about 384 hours at the end of this run, and the GFS shows a big discharge of really cold air into the northern United States. And that, by the way, follows a shot of some nice autumn-like air around here, the 20th or the 22nd, somewhere in that time frame. So it looks like as September unfolds, as you might expect, we'll see the chance of stepping down to some cooler and cooler weather as we end the month and head toward October. We'll be talking more about that in coming days and over the next week or so. All right, in the tropics, boy, Fred's undergone some rapid intensification overnight there in the eastern Atlantic Ocean. By the way, still no classified system for that low near the coast, and I doubt the National Hurricane Center will classify that. But eastern Atlantic Ocean, now there's a good look at Fred early this morning. And at the time I'm cutting this video, Fred had intensified into a Category 2 hurricane with 105 mile per hour sustained winds. And Fred stands a good chance of becoming a major hurricane, meaning Category 3 or higher, throughout the course of the day today. But Fred's still not a threat to land, at least for the time being. There's all the computer model guidance, and most of them pretty unanimous in taking Fred on a turn off to the northwest and the north over the next several days. Now let me show you some of the tropical modeling. I'll show you each of these models at the very end of their run. So this is the Hurricane Wharf, and that is Fred. It is recurved into the eastern Atlantic Ocean and pretty far north at that point in time. And let's see, this would be early next work week. This is the Canadian, and it actually recurves Fred to the north and then bends it back to the west. So that's the Canadian early next week. This is the GFDL. It's really far north with that recurving Fred. And the GFS, that's the very weak representation of what's left of Fred by Tuesday of next week. And finally, the no-gaps, that's Fred way in the eastern Atlantic. And this is actually the no-gaps redeveloping that coastal low as it pushes out to sea. So the general idea here with Fred is I don't think it's a threat to land, certainly anytime soon, and probably not at all. It should meander around to the eastern Atlantic and eventually get swept off to the north and east. But we'll keep an eye on it, of course, as we go through the next week or so. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everyone have a wonderful day today on this Wednesday, and God bless.